Welcome to the Seed Podcast, brought to you by Project Grow, where we discuss university programs, opportunities, and resources available to graduate students. Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Seed Podcast. I'm your host, Chanel Mitchell, and I'm here with Josh Kemper, the project manager of Project Grow. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you for inviting me, Chanel. It's great to be here.
All right, awesome. So Josh, could you explain to our viewers what is Project Grow?
So Project Grow is a grant here at the university. It's funded by the Department of Education. And our main goal here is to increase enrollment, retention, and graduation rates throughout graduate programs in the university. And this extends university-wide. So any type of graduate program, be it in social services, social work, psychology, anything that has a graduate program, we're here to try to help students go through those programs. We're doing that in a few unique special ways. One, of course, we are offering financial assistance to students. So we are offering 4 graduate assistantships each semester through any program and graduate programs. And also we're offering 5 $10,000 scholarships to any for qualifying graduate students through all those graduate programs also. We do have 2 unique positions within our grant that's funded by our grant. One is a program specialist, but the other one is a graduate advocate, which is your position also, which we're trying to meet students not only on their financial need, but we're trying to meet them on their academic and non-academic needs as well. So if students, a lot of times students will drop out not because of their grades are bad, but because they can't pay for daycare, because they're trying to find groceries. They have those non-academic needs, those struggles. And with your position, it's really great that we have someone in that position that can help them find those resources. So as a graduate advocate, can you speak a little bit more about your role as a graduate advocate and maybe like your past experience, like what has led you to this?
Great, awesome, Josh. So yes, my role as the graduate advocate is I'll be primarily providing comprehensive support services for our graduate students to help ensure their success as well as their overall well-being while they're here on their academic journey at UTPB. I'll be working closely with the UTPB Graduate Studies Office as well as our community partners to provide proper advocacy and referral services for our graduate students. As far as my past experience, I earned my master's degree in health science with a concentration in rehabilitation counseling from the University of Florida. I have 14 years of experience as a vocational rehabilitation counselor, working with youth, adults, as well as veterans with disabilities. I've also held positions within state government, nonprofit, and the private sectors. And interesting fact, I've actually been a Texas resident for almost 1 year. I relocated from the DFW area to the Permian Basin this past February to start the new role here as a graduate advocate at UTPB.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're really glad you're here. Yeah,
Thank you. So Josh, what is your role within the project, and also explain to viewers what your past experience is?
Okay, well, my role in the project is I am the project manager for Project Grow. So this is a brand new grant that I started within the university, and my role is specific on trying to advance and promote graduate programs throughout the university. We're doing that in a few different ways, kind of like this podcast and other things, but we're trying to reach students and show them about graduate programs and specifically like the applied programs, so your psychology, your social work, those applied practices, and work with students as the intersectionality of the applied and the academic. So like where the rubber meets the road on how your schoolwork actually applies to your future career. So that's basically my job in a nutshell. My personal experience is I'm a UTB alum. I did graduate here at UTPB with a bachelor's of social work. Immediately after graduation, I started working at a domestic violence and sexual assault shelter here in the Permian Basin. Moved up into an administrative position there, stayed there for a few years, helped run that facility. And while I was there, I got my master's in social work at UT Arlington. After that, I was asked to come back here and help start this grant, kick it off.
Well, awesome. Well, welcome back to UTPB and Go Falcons. And it's always great to hear our former students who come back to the university to serve in some capacity. So in terms of the podcast, Josh, we know that podcasts serve different purposes. So what is the purpose of the SEED podcast?
So the SEED podcast is actually kind of like I was speaking about earlier, that the intersectionality in between graduate programs and real world application. So what we're really trying to do with this podcast, I think, is inform students and educate students on the different programs out in the university, the different graduate programs, but also maybe bringing in some of the resources that are available to students. Let them kind of know, like, hey, some of these resources are available to you. We're talking about having the food pantry here on the campus come by, and some other resources that are here on the campus, but maybe outside the campus that students may not know about, and they really need to learn. Yeah.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah. So, what other things besides the podcast, Chanel, are we doing to engage students here at the university?
Perfect. So as Josh mentioned, we're trying to meet students on academic and non-academic needs. So my role as the graduate advocate is to help bring in outside resources to learn about agencies within the Permian Basin, as well as we plan to have activities or events here on campus throughout the academic year for our students, faculty, as well as staff to help promote a sense of belonging within the university, as well a sense of belonging within the graduate programs.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that. Yeah.
So any last minute questions before we wrap up this episode, or what exciting things are you looking forward to with the program or the podcast?
So there's one thing in particular that we're really excited about. We're kind of keeping a lid on it for right now, but be looking out for maybe a fall event coming up. We've been talking with some other programs here within the university, and I think there's going to be some special things coming down the pipelines that are going to be available to students come this fall. So keep a lookout for that.
Okay, awesome. Well, this concludes episode 1 of the SEED podcast. We would like to thank you all for joining us, and just stay tuned for upcoming episodes where we'll take a deeper dive into graduate programs and events here on campus. The contents of this podcast were developed under a grant from the U.S. Department of Education. However, they do not necessarily represent the policy of the U.S. Department of Education, and you should not assume endorsement by the federal government.